to our Thursday summer reading activity for the day. And if you are on story time with me today, you know that I am so excited for this program because we have Firefighter Jackie with us here today. Sorry. As I told the Storytime group, I said, part of the reason I'm excited that she's here today is because she is a female firefighter, and we always have the fire truck, and they bring the men, and we love the men, but I was so excited that we could get a female in here, and also I love the fact that she is one of our Storytime moms. So she started bringing her daughter here, what, probably a year and a half ago, maybe, something like that.
Yep.
And so that's how we got to meet her, and so to have someone from our library community come and join us today is really exciting to me. So we're so glad to have Firefighter Jackie with us here today. So I have a couple of questions for her, and my first question is, in all of our firefighter books, there's a fire pole. So I want to know, do all firehouses have a fire pole?
Unfortunately, not all of them have fire poles, but some of them do. So you just have to kind of know which ones. They're going to be ones with 2 stories. So if you go visit one and you really want to see one, find one with 2 stories. If it's a 1-story, you're not going to see a fire pole. And chances are they probably won't let you slide down them just for safety reasons, but it is super fun. So if you have like an uncle or a friend that can take you on a behind the scenes and will let you do it, it's definitely a good time. It's fun.
So you had a chance to do it?
Yes.
Even though your firehouse doesn't have one?
Yeah, and a lot of them are going to be the smaller houses because everybody sleeps upstairs, and in the middle of the night when you have to go on a call, instead of running to the stairs in the back, running down the stairs and over to the fire truck, it's easier to just open up the gate and slide down, and you're basically, it lands you right in front of the fire truck and you can get there as quick as you can. So yeah, as long as you wake up enough to know what you're doing.
That's true.
Sometimes I get a little scared in the middle of the night to do it. So, but it is pretty fun because you're going from one story to the other. So you just and you're there.
Very cool. So Jackie, you mentioned that you might get a call in the middle of the night. So do you get to sleep at the firehouse?
Yes. So a firefighter's schedule. And I'm speaking from my schedule. Some departments will be a little bit different, but we have 24-hour shifts. So all firefighters will sleep at the firehouse. Some will go 48 hours, but we're 24 hours on. So that means we have sleepover every 3rd day at the firehouse. So the guys at the firehouse are kind of my second family. We all have our own like rooms, but yes, you're there for 24 hours and you're on call for 24 hours, ready to go. And then you get 2 days off. So we go 1 day on and 2 days off, which is a pretty sweet schedule. I have 2 little ones at home, so I get a lot of time with them. That's why I get to come to story time during the week. I don't have a traditional schedule. So if you want to be a firefighter and you like things that are non-traditional, this is for you. Every week is different. So, you know, sometimes I work Monday, Thursday, sometimes I work Tuesday, Friday, sometimes I work just Wednesday, you work weekends, you work holidays, which sounds like it kind of sucks, but we usually do like if you work Christmas, we'll do a Christmas dinner and we invite our families in. So it's a really family-oriented job, and we try to like include families when you are away from your families. So like if sometimes you'll have to work a 48 if you work like a trade for someone or overtime, and everybody's cool if like your family stops by to see you, because it's hard for me to go 2 days without seeing my kids, so and my husband. So it's very family oriented, and yes, so the 24-hour schedule is tough just to get used to, just to be away from your family. But if you're young and like don't have a family, it's pretty sweet gig as well.
All right, so you're there for 24 hours. I'm guessing you're not just sitting around reading books all the time. What kind of things do you do when you're at the firehouse?
So yeah, a lot of like you'll see like police officers make fun of us because they think we just sit around and watch TV all day. And we sit in our recliners, so you'll see a lot of like funny GIFs or funny videos like cops versus firefighters, but we're very busy. So typical day in the firehouse, so our shift changes 7:30. I usually get there at 6:30, just as a courtesy to the person before me, so they can go home and be with their family. You get all of your gear on the rig, and you get yourself set. That's the first thing you do when you get there. You take off the person before you's stuff. You're always relieving someone else, so there's always has to be 4 people on the truck at all times. So when you get there, someone else gets to leave. So I take their stuff and I put it back in their locker. I put all of my gear on the truck. I make sure it's all serviceable, and then I usually go get a cup of coffee, check in with people, to see what's going on for the day. But then after that, when everybody else is there as a team, we check out the rig. So the rig is like I call it a fire truck, but there's a difference between a truck and an engine, so I just call it a rig. So we check out the rig and we check out everything on there to make sure it works. All the tools, all the hoses are loaded right, all the ladders are working, all the equipment, the saws, everything. You have to make sure it's all serviceable. So that takes a good amount of time. We check it all off. We have a big checklist, and every day that gets done, because you don't want to show up to a call and something doesn't work. That's embarrassing, and it's not good for the people that need help. After that, we usually have roll call, which usually means just everybody sits around the table, and the officers, the people in charge, they'll go over the schedule for the day, if there's any announcements, if there's anything happening in the day, if there's any parades going on with street closures, just anything that could be happening. After that, we usually go and we do our training. So it's a very physical job. We have to go every day and train. So we train on skills. Usually we do like fire related skills. I'm on an engine, which is the ones with, there's only one ladder on the side. They're a little bit smaller, and basically what's in there is water and hoses. We're the ones that put out the fire. So we're the most important ones. Because when the fire goes out, everything gets better. So don't listen to truckies, is what we call them. The engine people are the best. So we usually go out and just make sure that our skills are good. We'll train on anything. It could be hose related, it could be a ladder, throw a couple ladders, it could be, we'll get with the trucks and do some extrication training, which is when we cut people out of cars. Obviously there's no people in there when we're training, but we practice like how it will go. And then usually we'll have some like EMS training, which is like our medical training, because even though we're firefighters is our title, we're also EMTs, and probably the majority of what we do is medical calls. So when you see us roaring around, most of the time we're going on a medical call, especially if there's an ambulance. So we do like the initial medicine, so basically just stabilize the patient till the ambulance gets there. So we'll do a little bit of that, and then we have, I said it's like a family, so everybody buys in for lunch and dinner, and one person will cook. That's the hardest part about the day, because everybody has an opinion on what they want to eat. So when you ask them what do you want to eat, they tell you they don't know, and then when you're at the store, they're like, oh, that's what you're going to make today? Didn't we just have that? Blah, blah, blah. So you have to have some thick skin and just go with whatever you want to make, because you're the cook for the day.
I was going to ask whether they were harder to cook for or your family was harder to cook
They're
for.
way harder to cook.
Okay.
Way harder. That's like my biggest anxiety of the day is like, oh, do I have to cook today? Oh, great. My firehouse has 2 different rigs. So we have an engine and a truck, and then we also have a chief. So we have 9 people there at any time, all the time. So we cook for 9 people, which is an adjustment if you're not used to cooking, especially because we have a lot of men, and most men aren't great at cooking. We have a lot of men that are, but you get really good if you get on the fire department. People help you out, and a lot of wives are very happy when their firefighter husbands learn to cook. So, then we cook. We go to the store. So when you see us go to the store, it's a common misconception that like the stores are providing us food. We are buying into it. Everybody pays every day, and so we buy our own food. We get lunch and dinner stuff to cook. We bring it back, and then we'll cook lunch. After that, we usually have some downtime because nobody really wants to like go run around when their bellies are full. So we usually get like an hour of downtime, and then we'll either go work out or do some more training. By that point, it's close to the end of the day, and we will cook dinner together, We usually work out together if we do work out. So if you see by our firehouse, you might go to a park, you might see them running around, you might see them doing a workout. Or if you go outside our firehouse, we like to work out outside. I like to run our workouts, and I like sunshine. So we just do it out on the bay. So we're like running around. We usually get honks and stuff. And then after that, everybody cleans, including the chief. We try to not have him clean, but we fight him every day, and he helps out. So it's like a family. I forgot to mention in the beginning of the day, everybody has a chore to do. That's like after we check out the rig. Everybody has their specific chore, whether it's bathrooms or the kitchen, or we have like a weekly chore, so we'll clean the floors, we'll clean the windows, we'll clean, we're always cleaning stuff. So, and then basically after dinner is kind of like our time to relax. So that's when we actually sit down and watch movies or Netflix series or whatever, but basically we're just waiting for the next call. So we have to be ready to go whenever the call comes in.
Right, so, and that can happen anytime,
Anytime.
right? Middle of the night.
It could happen at 2 a.m.
Lunch just went on the table.
And we've had plenty of those days. We didn't get lunch on the table till 2 p.m. because we've been busy. And you just sat down, you took one bite, and it's hot and it's delicious, and the call,
And you're on your way.
we're on our way, and we might be there for a while. You know, if it's a fire or something that involves a lot of time, like we've been on calls for hours before. If it's like the longest call I've been on, I think we were there for like 6 or 7 hours.
Wow.
It was a trash, car depot, like trash heap, and something underneath was on fire, and so we just had to keep putting water on it for hours and hours and hours. And if that happens right in the middle of lunch, that happens right in the middle of lunch, and that's just your day. So yeah, we try to like keep some snacks in the rig and stuff.
I was wondering. I
Yep.
would need snacks.
Yep,
So.
I always have snacks with me.
So when the call comes in, you said all your gear's on the truck and ready to go.
Yep.
So we're gonna have Jackie show us what she would do to get ready to go on that call.
Yep, so when you visit the firehouse, you're gonna see their gear right next to the doors are always open to the rig. So you'll see a door open, and you'll see all their gear like hanging, either coats hanging on the door or on a hook. You'll see boots right next to there. Basically what you gotta do is pop off your station shoes and get this on. We're supposed to get this whole thing on within 1 minute and be out the door. That's our standard. And that's a common firefighter standard. So, and then you have to have all of your gear, including your air pack, which I don't have today, on in under 2 minutes. So that's just to like we want to get there as quick as possible. So we have to have those standards, and we do have like a clock that tells you how many seconds have gone by till you're, so like sometimes if something goes wrong, you're like, oh no. But first thing I put on is my boots. You'll notice that my pants are in, or my boots are inside my pants. Parents, I always tell, if you have trouble getting your kids dressed in the morning, put their pants like this over their shoes. Maybe you'll get them, I don't know, I haven't tried it with my toddler yet. But kids always think it's kind of funny, and then parents think it's cool, like maybe they could get their kid dressed quicker. So you pop off your shoes, and this gets my boots and my pants on as quick as possible. So we have to cover every piece of our skin with our gear if we're going to go into a fire. So this takes care of my feet and my pants, so, or my legs. So this is like a fire resistant material. It's got 3 layers. It's really hot, so on a day like today, if we're going to be out doing something, it gets pretty hot, but it protects me if I were going to a fire for a while. So then I'm going to put on, this is called a fire hood. So this is going to protect my head and my neck. I'm going to have a helmet on, but if I just put my helmet on, my neck would be exposed and my ears. And you'll see a lot of people that don't put their hood on correctly, they'll get burned. You know what they did when you look at their ears after. So we put that on. Now I need to take care of my top and my arms. So this is my coat. I gotta make sure all of those are snapped, or else like heat can get in there. And then from here, I usually just put this down until I'm ready to put on my mask. So this is basically how I'll look when I get into the rig. All my other stuff is going to be inside the rig, and we actually do the rest of it while we're driving. So that's a cool part. We're supposed to wear our seatbelts, but I usually try to get it on I try to get this on really quick so I can get the rest of it and get my seatbelt on before we even start going. I like to have pride in getting my stuff on really quick. So we don't ride around in the rig with our helmet, but once we get out, you're going to put your helmet on. That takes care of my head. And these are pretty heavy. So if you want to be a firefighter, you have to be very physically fit. Wearing your helmet, I feel for long periods of time is the hardest part. More than like climbing stairs with lots of gear and all that stuff. I don't know, my neck starts to take the heat from that. So that's how I'll usually get off the rig with my air pack. This is, as Miss Kimberly said, this is probably the scariest piece for people. So I like to tell people you can see what I look like right now when I put this on. And I don't have my air pack, so I'm not going to have the Darth Vader like scary noise. So it's not going to be a full effect. But we like to tell kids, like, if you see this scary face and you're in a dangerous situation, like, go to the scary face. Don't be scared of it. There's a friendly firefighter underneath. So this will cover up my face. And then this will be connected to my air pack. And that's where the funny noise will come from. If you haven't heard one, it's like Darth Vader if you're into Star Wars. And then the last piece, hold on, I told you I put this back up. So this covers my neck, my ears, that covers my head, and the last piece is to cover my hands. And now I'm totally protected and ready to go in. I would have my regulator on, breathing air from my back if I had my air pack. So, kids, if you see someone looking like this and it looks scary, we're not scary.
There's a happy, friendly firefighter in there.
Yep, yep.
So. All right, well, thank you, Jackie. We're just going to take a couple minutes to wrap up here. I'm going to let Jackie step away, get out of her gear, and she has a 2-week-old baby. That's how grateful I am that she came here today. 2-week-old baby is with Dad wandering around, so I think she probably wants to check in with him a little bit. And while she does that, I'm going to show you what's in your take and make. And but thank you so much for coming. Such great information and so fun to see all of this stuff. So, all right, we'll let you, if you could step out that door, and Miss Corinne's going to follow me over here to the craft table. So I think I have one take and make left if anybody wants it. Actually, I might even be able to put a second one together, but I know I have one. What you're going to find in there, we have a couple of different things. We have some firefighter tattoos. So all they need is a little bit of water to put those on. We have fire safety bookmarks, and you can color those. And then we did a fire safety worksheet. So it says, to prevent fires, you should. So you could draw a picture in here of how you would prevent fires. Or in an emergency, dial. Do we know what we need to dial? Does anybody know? I'll bet you do. 911, right? And then if you catch on fire, do you know what you should do? Is it still stop, drop, and roll, Miss Jackie?
Yes, stop, drop, and roll.
Stop, drop, and roll. So you could put a picture in there, and if there's a fire, you should. Probably the biggest thing there is probably call the fire department. Don't try to put it out yourself.
Yes.
I got agreement over that. So our craft for today is we're going to make you into firefighters, okay? So what you've got in your pack is a white piece of paper. You have multicolored flesh paper. There's 5 pieces. You'll notice that the 2 lighter colors are missing because I used one for this because I'm lighter skinned, and another one for my example. You'll also have your fire helmet and your little badge and some paint and a paintbrush. What you'll need in addition are some scissors, some glue, and a marker or a crayon of some sort. So I'm not going to do the paint portion of this, but we'll talk about it. So you can either do the handprints first, or you can put your face on there. I'm going to take my face here, and I'm going to glue it on. And I'm not going to put the face on yet, because I found out that when I put the hat on, my face goes, sorry, I am so popular today. My phone keeps ringing. It's also our camera. So then I'm going to take my fire hat, helmet here. I'm going to stick it on the head, and you'll see, so you can see it's a circle, sort of a circle. And I cover about half across the top. And then I'm going to take my little badge here, and put that right on top of it. And I'm going to put an F on it for firefighter, okay? So it's going to look like that. And then I'm going to put a face on there. Got my eyes, my nose, and my mouth. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to take the paint and the paintbrush, and this maybe parents can help with. The easiest way to do it is just to paint your hand with that paint. So paint the little one's hands, and then just stick it right down there on the picture, pull it straight up, and you've got it, okay? So you're going to want 2 hands on there, so it looks like you're the firefighter with helping hands, okay? So that is everything that we have for you today. Thank you so much for joining us. When I get a minute after this, once this is published, I do have some links to some YouTube videos where they do some tours of firehouses and fire trucks, since we didn't get to have our fire truck here today. But that'll give you a little bit more information. So, all right, I hope you guys all have a great weekend, and that you'll join us back here next week for all of our next week's fun adventures. All right, bye guys.
Bye.